Hello everyone, this is Miss Maddie with the Winnetka Library, and we're going to be sewing this little Valentine envelope today for our sewing craft. So it's got a little button on the back, and inside are a bunch of felt hearts. So I'm going to be showing you how to sew the envelope and then how to cut out the heart shapes. So this is the tin and the QR code for the video. And these are the felt pieces. So we have a big piece for the envelope and a lining piece, and then the little ones are for the hearts. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the stamp. So I've got a little piece of white, and I've picked the light purple one to be my stamp piece. You can pick any of them. So I'm going to cut out sort of a wavy pattern around the white part of the stamp, and then I'm going to cut down the purple piece to fit inside of this piece and sew them together. Alright, so now that I finished sewing my stamp pieces together, I'm going to find the corner of the envelope and I'm going to sew it into place. And I'm going to do this before I put on the lining piece, because the lining piece of the envelope will cover up the stitches from the stamp. So just find the corner and I'm going to sew it down in the white part of the felt. So now I'm going to sew on the lining piece. If you want to embroider a message on the front, like the sample had, you want to do that before you put the lining piece down. This will cover up any of the stitching you do on the front of the envelope. So yeah, I'm just going to run a stitch all the way around all the corners of the lining piece. So now I'm going to show you how to sew the envelope together. So you're going to take the sides and you're going to find the little corner piece, and you're going to put your thread through the bottom one and then the top one, and then very carefully you're going to put your needle in through just the top layer. Make sure you don't sew all the way through to the front of the envelope, and then you want to just reach all the way inside and pull your thread through. The first few stitches will be the hardest because you have to reach all the way inside the envelope, but once you get the stitch going, it'll be much easier once you get to the top. If you can see on the other side that I've already finished, this is what the end will sort of look like. So yeah, you just go back and forth in and out, and just very carefully poke it through each time. Be careful not to poke your fingers. And then once you get to the very top, I just put a couple extra reinforcing stitches at the very top to make sure that it's secure, and then tie your knots on the inside of the envelope to hide it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sew the button on the front of the envelope. So you want to make sure that your folded over piece covers the whole button, so don't put it too far down that it won't reach, and then just go ahead and sew it on. You go in through one hole and out through the other, and I do a good number of these just to make sure that it's on there very tightly, and I pull the thread all the way through very tightly as well. The fabric is very thin, so you don't have to worry about leaving space. Now I've measured where my buttonhole needs to go, and I'm just going to draw on a little mark with a pen so I know where to cut. I'm measuring how tall the button is to make sure that the hole is going to be tall enough. So now I'm going to just reinforce the buttonhole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push through the fabric on the side there and then just wrap it around, actually going through the inside of the buttonhole each time. And this is just going to make sure that the buttonhole keeps its shape and doesn't stretch out and get distorted from opening and closing the envelope multiple times. So that's the envelope, and now we're going to cut out the hearts. So get your scissors, and what we're going to do is we're going to fold those little squares in half, and then just sort of using my thumb as a guide for the big part of the heart, I'm going to cut around and then just straight down in a line, and there you go. Now you can sew these two pieces together if you want to. You can embroider a little message on them, or you could just cut the hearts out. They're very cute on their own too. Whatever you want to do for your Valentine. And then once you're done with all your hearts, you just fill up your envelope and you're done. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next month when we do another little sewing craft. If you have any questions, feel free to call the Winnetka Library and ask for Miss Maddie, and have a great day.